Good afternoon, everyone. As I promised, that if the response is good enough for the discussion of poems of NCERT Standard 10th, which is a need of the hour as the board exams are on 15th. So I'm here with you to help you out and discuss all the poems one by one. So before we start, I would request you to share this with your friends very quickly so that more and more people get live on it. And I'm sure that you are preparing well for this exam. Board exams are very important. This is the first most important exam that you're going to take, राइट. सो इसको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर कीजिए. ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लाइव होंगे तो हम लोग जल्दी से जल्दी इसको स्टार्ट करेंगे. डिस्कशन ऑफ ऑल द पोएम्स ऑफ एनसीईआरटी स्टैंडर्ड 10th. कमेंट्स आपके ऑन हैं और आपका जो चैट बॉक्स है उसको मैंने ऑफ़ कर दिया है ताकि कोई भी डिस्ट्रैक्शन ना हो. आपके कमेंट्स मैं बाद में लूँगा. कमेंट्स में रिव्यू करके उसके हिसाब से मैं रिस्पॉन्ड करूँगा या फिर कुछ और एक्शन लेना होगा तो उसके हिसाब से लूँगा. लेकिन चैट आपके ऑफ़ हैं. जल्दी से जल्दी इसको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर कीजिए. अभी मेरा टारगेट है कम से कम 50 या 60 लाइव व्यूज़. सो अपने जो स्टूडेंट ग्रुप है उसमें शेयर कीजिए ताकि हम लोग जल्दी से जल्दी इसको स्टार्ट कर सकें. ठीक है. और हम जानते हैं कि इसमें आप लोगों को बहुत हेल्प होने वाली है. जो भी स्टूडेंट्स मुझसे पढ़ चुके हैं इन लाइव क्लास इन स्कूल्स, वो मुझ पर बहुत भरोसा करते हैं. मैं भी आप लोगों को बहुत तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि आप लोग मुझ पर ट्रस्ट करते हैं. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी दैट यू ट्रस्ट मी एंड बिलीव इन माई टीचिंग मेथड्स. सो इसको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा तक लोगों तक पहुंचाना ही मेरा एम है. द मोर इट रीचेस, द फार इट रीचेस, द मोर सेटिस्फैक्शन आई गेट. राइट. द नंबर ऑफ व्यूज़ डज नॉट अफेक्ट माई मॉनेटरी स्टेटस. इससे कुछ मुझे पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं, लेकिन हाँ मुझे एक सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलता है कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बच्चे मुझसे जुड़े. तो इसीलिए मैं ये बार बार कह रहा हूँ कि इस लाइव सेशन को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों के साथ शेयर कीजिए. इसमें हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं सारे के सारे पोएम्स ऑफ एनसीईआरटी स्टैंडर्ड 10th. तो जब तक ये लाइव सेशन 60 तक नहीं पहुंच जाता, 60 व्यूअर्स नहीं हो जाते, मैं इसको स्टार्ट नहीं करूंगा. और आपके कमेंट्स ऑफ हैं, आपके कमेंट्स ऑफ हैं, सॉरी आपके जो चैट बॉक्स है वो ऑफ़ किया हुआ है ताकि कोई भी डिस्ट्रैक्शन ना हो. एंड नो मोर नेगोशिएशंस. हाँ, आपके चैट बॉक्स को ऑन कर दिया है ताकि आप लोग सॉरी आपके कमेंट बॉक्स को ऑन कर दिया है ताकि आप लोग कमेंट कर सकें और बाद में मैं आपके कमेंट को रिव्यू करके उसको रिस्पॉन्ड करूंगा. अभी तक सिर्फ 5 लाइक्स हुए हैं. दिस इज़ वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग. आप इसको शुरुआत कीजिएगा. आई नो दैट यू हैव अ वेरी शॉर्ट अटेंशन स्पैन. आपका पेशेंस लेवल बहुत कम है, लेकिन मेरा पेशेंस लेवल बहुत ज़्यादा है. ठीक है. तो जल्दी से आप लोग शेयर कर दीजिए इसको अपने क्लास ग्रुप में. अपने बच्चों, अपने दोस्तों को बोल दीजिए कि जल्दी से लाइव आ जाएं. लाइव व्यू शुरू हो चुका है तो मैं इसको शुरू करूँगा. ठीक है. चलिए. आपके चैट पे मैं लगातार नज़र रखा हुआ हूँ. चैट पे नहीं, वो सॉरी कमेंट बॉक्स पे लगातार नज़र रख रहा हूँ ताकि आप लोग के डाउट्स भी मैं ले सकूँ. तो हम लोग शुरुआत कैसे करेंगे? शुरुआत करेंगे डस्ट ऑफ स्नो से, फायर एंड आइस से. उसके बाद टाइगर एंड जू पे जाएंगे. फिर हाउ टू टेल वाइल्ड एनिमल्स, द बॉल पोएम, अमांडा. फिर एनिमल्स पे डिस्कशन होगी. द ट्रीज इम्पॉर्टेंट है, फॉग इम्पॉर्टेंट है, टेल ऑफ कस्टर्ड द ड्रैगन इम्पॉर्टेंट है, फॉर एन ग्रेगरी इम्पॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है. तो इसको जल्दी से ज़्यादा शेयर कीजिए ताकि हम लोग शुरुआत कर सकें. चलिए. चलिए, हमारे पास एक व्यूअर बचे हुए हैं तो आई एम होपिंग दैट दे आर शेयरिंग दिस विथ एवरीवन. यही होता है पेशेंस लेवल. बच्चों का पेशेंस लेवल इतना स्लो है कि आप लोगों को इंस्टेंट नूडल्स चाहिए तुरंत में, लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है। हमारा एज जो ऐसा है कि आप हम लोग आराम से पेशेंटली आप लोगों को बताएंगे। इसको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग तक शेयर कीजिए ताकि हम लोग शुरुआत कर सकें। 5 साढ़े 5 मिनट हो चुके हैं लाइव सेशन के, अभी सिर्फ 4 व्यूज़ हुए हैं, तो इसको 4 व्यूअर्स को हम लोग को 40 करना होगा कम से कम, तभी जाके हम लोग शुरुआत करेंगे। हम जानते हैं ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग हमसे जुड़ें, हम ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों का भला कर सकें, और हम लोगों को यह एम रखना है कि अपना मैक्सिमम दे सकें और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों का भला कर सकें, तभी आप एक सही मायने में स्टूडेंट कहलाएंगे हु हैज़ द एबिलिटी टू सर्वाइव इन अ टीम। चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं डस्ट ऑफ स्नो से। डस्ट ऑफ स्नो पेज नंबर 14। मैं ये रिकमेंड करूँगा कि आप लोग किताब भी निकाल लीजिए, नोट्स निकाल लीजिए। पेज नंबर 14 है डस्ट ऑफ स्नो। शुरुआत करते हैं डस्ट ऑफ स्नो से। डस्ट ऑफ स्नो एक बहुत ही छोटी सी पोएम है रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट की, जिसका थीम है नेचर, द पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ नेचर। सो ये रोमांटिक पोएट है, एक रोमांटिक पोएम है जिसमें the poet has given a message that we have to connect to nature, right? In this poem, the poet was in a very sad mood, a bad mood, and he was not able to notice the beautiful environment around him unless a crow shook down from a tree dust of snow. While the poet was going or returning from his workplace, he was not noticing the environment, beautiful environment of snow, the beautiful, mesmerizing view, because he was busy in pondering over some hopeless situation or the cycle of work he undergoes from day to day, right? But when the crow, which is a negative element, shakes down some dust of snow on his shoulders, and that too, the branch was of a hemlock tree, which is again a poisonous tree. He came to notice that it had snowed that day, and the environment was very beautiful and refreshing. So, the message of this poem is to connect with nature, because nature has the ability to heal the deepest of sorrows, and man should connect to nature in order to be happy, be healthy, and be fully spirited. Okay, this is dust of snow for you. Take care. Fire and ice. Fire and ice. This chapter may again Robert Frost has discussed two possibilities of destruction. Two possibilities of destruction. What are the possibilities of destruction? One is fire, the other one is ice. Right. He says that he has heard both the parties, and these parties are the ones who favor fire as the cause of destruction, and the other party is the one who say that are the ones who say that the earth will end due to ice. But as far as he has experienced, he would favor the people who say that fire would be the cause of destruction of the earth, because he has experienced a lot of desire in this world. Desire here may refer to greed, or lust, right? So fire and desire have been symbolic here. So fire is a symbol of desire. But he says that if the earth were to perish twice, ice would be sufficient enough to be a cause of destruction of this earth. The reason being, he has experienced enough hatred in this world as well. Enough hatred in this world as well. Um, Now, there is a paradox used here. The paradox is that anything which has already been destroyed, for example, the earth has already been destroyed, cannot be destroyed a second time, right? Anything which cannot be which has been destroyed once, for example, the earth, cannot be destroyed a second time. But if we if we actually look at the possibility, there have been many ice ages, many floods, which has totally wiped out the civilizations, and there has been cases where the earth has reflourished, repopulated, right? So anything which is impossible, which seems impossible but it actually happens, is a paradox. तो यहाँ पे paradox का question बहुत आता है. अच्छा, why does the poet use fire as a symbol of desire, and why does he use ice as a symbol of hatred? Fire and desire, not only they rhyme, but also fire may represent the burning desire or lust in man's heart to take everything, to take everything from a neighbor, to take everything from the other countries, other parties, or from brother, sister, relatives, neighbors, etc. On the other hand, ice is a symbol used for hatred or hate, because if you hate someone, you don't feel anything for that person. You don't empathize with that person. A person does not empathize with another one if he or she hates the other one, right? So that's why ice has been used as a symbol for hatred, right? So this is the poem for you. Now, what is the lesson from it? If the lesson from this poem is that if mankind or humankind has to avoid destruction of this earth, mankind has to eliminate desire, too much desire, and too much hatred, right? Fire has to be the fire of desire has to be extinguished, as well as the ice of hatred has to be thawed. Thawed matlab hota hai galana, right? The ice has to be thawed and the fire of desire has to be extinguished. Only then the earth would continue to exist, and the destruction of this earth would be avoided. This is fire nice for you. Okay, let's move on to the third poem. The third poem, A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. The third poem, A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. In this poem, The Tiger in the Zoo, the poet Leslie Norris has well portrayed how man has tried to control the other species existing on this earth, and how man has used or negatively used his or her mankind has used his ability to one's ability to take control over the rest of the creation. For example, this tiger is a symbol of all the other species which have been exploited at the hands of mankind. Okay, so Another theme that can be taken from this poem is that the animals have feelings too. Animals have feelings too, right? For example, this tiger who was roaming freely, terrorizing the villagers and showing its teeth, snarling at its prey, its possible prey, hiding in the shadows of the grass, was very happy. But when this tiger was in captivity, which is a very contrasting situation to the one he was in before, right? Then the tiger was not at all happy, right? What happened when the tiger went into captivity? His anger, his sorry, his bol raha hai. His name. It's the tiger's ability to hunt, to roam freely, had been restricted behind bars, right? So not only the tiger's physical form had been restricted behind bars, but also its ability to roam about, its freedom had been curtailed, its emotions had been cut short. So, being behind bars or in a cage is not only the physical captivity of the tiger, but also a symbol of loss of its freedom. What are the main points that we need to take from this um, poem? Is the environment in which he was when he was in the jungle, lurking in the shadows, sliding through the grass near the water hole, waiting for the plump deer to pass. Plump deer to pass. It's a very beautiful metaphor where the dangerous abilities of a tiger to hide and hunt are represented. The contrast between the tiger's natural habitat and the cage, the captivity, has to be taken into note, right? How its abilities, its vicious, or you may say dangerous existence, had been turned forcibly into soft paws which became very harmless behind the bars. Now, CBSE's favorite part of this poem is its last part. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. In this um, in this part, the poet shows the reflection of hope in the form of the stars, which still twinkle in the eyes of the tiger. The tiger is still hopeful that one day it will get free, and that's why it looks far at the stars, and how these stars have a reflection and the brilliance, the brilliant eyes, and stares with his brilliant eyes, his hopeful eyes at the brilliant stars. These stars are not only a symbol of freedom, but also a symbol of hope for the tiger. This last stanza is the favorite of CBSE. Okay? So this is a tiger in the zoo for you. Let's move on. नेक्स्ट पोम कौन सा है? How to tell wild animals. How to tell wild animals by Carolyn Wells. I've shared some tricks to memorize the names of the poets and authors I have used them myself, and I find that they have been very helpful for my students. How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells. See, in this poem, the poet Carolyn Wells describes certain traits of certain animals, right? And how one would find dangerous beasts lurking or roaming about in the jungle, right? And how one may know, it's a fun poem, one may know how animal traits or animals can be identified by the way the lion roars, or the tigers they hide in the yellow background, or the leopards can be spotted with the spots on its hide. Hyenas come with merry smiles. If they weep, they are crocodiles. Okay, but what is the theme of the poem? Why has the poet written this poem, and this poem is in standard 10th NCERT? लेट्स गेस. चलिए, आप लोग कमेंट्स तो अभी नहीं कर सकते हैं, चैट तो नहीं कर सकते हैं. हाँ, कमेंट करके ज़रूर बताइएगा. I'll give you some time. I'm watching at the comments here. Come on, come on, come on. No, it's not the case. All right, let's cut the fuss short. See, there are people in this world which one may meet. There are people in this world which one may meet, and these people may show the animal traits. For example, a powerful person may act as a lion, or and it may harm you. It may harm the people, right? A powerful person may harm other people and roar at them, command them, etc., right? While some powerful people, they lurk in the background, they hide in the background and wait for the right moment to pounce at its prey. Just like people, they also wait for the right moment to attack or harm other people. Hyenas come with merry smiles, right? There are people like hyenas who will smile, who will fawn in front of you, who will praise other people, and when the time is right, they will hunt mercilessly. If they weep, they are crocodiles, right? There are people who show that they are weak, they don't have enough food, they do not have the minimum means of existence. But the moment they get the chance, they will pounce at you, they will attack you, they will snap and bite as soon as they get a chance. So this is what this poem is about. There are people like bears who caress, they touch you softly, they make you feel comfortable, but actually they are harming you, right? There are people like chameleons who may change their colors instantly, right? A lizard sort of thing. And it's a fun poem, but the theme is very important. Why has Carolyn Wells written this poem, and why has NCERT decided to include this poem in NCERT Standard 10th? The reason being, the poet wants us to know that there are people in this universe, in this world, who have animal like traits, and how we should identify those people who may start behaving like animals. And how would we identify them? By identifying these traits. So this is How to Tell Wild Animals by Carolyn Wells for you. Chaliye. Next poem, The Ball Poem. The Ball Poem by John Berryman. So this poem deals with the epistemology of loss. In this poem, the poet watches a boy who has lost his ball, and now he watches the ball float or drift in the bay. Right? So this ball symbolizes whatever the person or the boy has lost, whatever we lose in life. We may look at whatever we have lost, we may remember whatever we have lost, but balls cannot be bought back. Whatever is gone is gone. This is the epistemology of loss. We have to make peace with the situation. We have to accept the reality that we cannot waste our lives, our efforts behind something which is gone, lost, destroyed. Instead, what we have to do, we have to rebuild. We have to start afresh. We have to give our 100% in whatever is left with us, whatever is in store in the future. What is the past is the past. If possible, yes, we will put our efforts in order to regain them, but we will never waste our entire lives. ये अनिल कपूर का वो नहीं है, गाना नहीं है, जिंदगी हर कदम एक नई जंग है कि मतलब we will waste everything and then come back. It's not like that, right? So this is ball poem by John Berryman. इस पे epistemology of loss पे ध्यान दीजिएगा. Money is external, he is learning. And why? Another question that may be asked from this poem is why does the poet not make the boy realize the situation? Why does he not talk to the boy? Why does he not help the boy in understanding the epistemology of loss? The reason is that the boy has to understand this on his own. He has not to understand, but to realize this on his own. Just as every person has to come to peace with the situation himself. Nobody else, no one else can make another person realize what epistemology of loss is, because this has to come from the heart. It does not come from logic. One has to accept in the heart that what is gone and cannot be brought back. Now, what kind of losses are we talking about? We are talking about losses not only in material form like money, house, etc., but we are also talking about the relatives that die, relatives that go, dear ones that leave, friends we lose, or age, abilities that we have lost in the past. Right? So this is the ball poem by John Berryman. ठीक है? If ever you should go by chance to jungle in the east. Amanda. This poem, written by Robin Klein, deals with the situation of teenagers, the confused situation of teenagers, just as Amanda. Now, Amanda is a representative, a symbol of the teenagers who find it difficult to communicate with their parents. Now, these parents, they too lack the understanding of the situation through which the teenagers go through. So what do? They start enforcing or nudging or nagging repeated instructions. This irritates the teenagers like Amanda. What they do is they try to cut the communication with from the parents, and they build a separate universe, a separate imaginative world around them, a bubble around them. Now, you will notice that whatever lines have been attributed to Amanda have been put in brackets, round brackets. Why is that? The reason being, these are not actually said words, these are actually thought words. Um, these are actually delusions that Amanda experiences due to the um, desire to run away from the real world. Right? So, what is the solution for it? The solution is counseling, making this communication gap go away. That's what is the need of the hour. Counseling of the teenagers as well as the parents. Counseling of the teenagers, making them understand that the parents are worried about the teenage situation. They're there to help. On the other hand, the parents need to be counseled that they need to understand the teenage situation as well, the changes that they are going through, be their friends and not just their parents. This is the need of the hour. This is the chapter Amanda for You by Robin Klein. ठीक है, Klein, Robin Klein. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Animals. Walt Whitman, Song of Myself in Leaves of Grass. Songs of Myself. The theme of this poem, animals, is very basic to human nature. The theme of this poem, animals, is very basic to human nature. The thing being that when the humans were in their primitive stage, they did not have much to worry about. They did not have feelings like envy, like worry, like greed. They did not have crimes, unnecessary crimes. For example, looting. What they did was only due to their basic needs. For example, hunting, eating, surviving, building houses. That's it. But as ages passed, as centuries moved ahead, those tokens or properties of simple heartedness and simple nature were dropped by those human beings. And as the poet, being a representative of human beings, the poet is a representative as a symbol of the entire mankind. As the poet or mankind looks back, he sees that he has dropped tokens of those properties. He has dropped those properties, he has lost those properties. And now he's spending sleepless nights worrying about tomorrow. Have you ever seen a bull worrying about what he or she has, it has to eat the next day? No. Again, have you ever heard of a cobra committing a crime? For example, looting or, God forbid to say, rape? No, you don't. These are all negativities, which have infected mankind. Now, the poet feels ashamed when he looks at those animals, because those animals have picked up those properties of simple heartedness, straightforward nature. And these tokens are shown to mankind. Now, when these symbols, when these tokens, these are not physical tokens, these are properties. Tokens are what? Symbols. These tokens are not physical tokens, these are properties of simple heartedness, simple nature, which make mankind feel very disgusted with one's situation. So, what is the theme of this poem? The theme of this poem is that mankind has lost its simple and true nature, and animals are perhaps better than mankind in this regard. In this regard. So, moral of the story, we have to be more true to ourselves, more generous to the people, and less worried about unimportant and material things existing in this world. Right? This is the poem Animals by Walt Whitman. Animals poem has been taken from Songs of the Myself in Leaves of Grass. There's a entire song called Leaves of Grass, in which there's a part called Song of Myself. From this Song of Myself has the extract Animals been taken. So Animals by Walt Whitman. I hope this covers for you. आगे बढ़ते हैं. The trees. The Trees by Adrian Rich. The Trees by Adrian Rich has two perspectives. One perspective is the perspective of nature, that mankind has caused excessive deforestation. And now how mankind has potted trees, planted potted trees, bonsai, etc. First, mankind has eliminated the forests, reduced the forests to plain grounds, open grounds. And now, how, in the name of going green, environmentalism is promoting gardening, is promoting horticulture, is promoting terrace gardens, is promoting plants that can enrich the interiors of a room with oxygen, for example, aloe vera. This is quite ironical because first mankind has eliminated or reduced the forest, right, deforested the forest, and now mankind has planted trees, and now only trees that can be found are in pots or in the cracks growing, which have come to appear in buildings, right? So what are they doing? What are these plants doing? They are trying to free themselves from these pots, these cracks. And just as patients who have been just discharged from hospitals, they are weak, they are dragging themselves towards the door, escaping at night, trying to get back to the forest. So the poet is hopeful. Another sub theme which can be taken from this poem is the poet is hopeful that one day the forests will be filled again, because the efforts to reforest the areas are in progress. But they're not enough yet, right? That's why he can hear the windows cracking and the branches pushing through the windows pane, right? But the efforts are not enough, not ample yet. So this is the environmental perspective. Parallelly, Adrienne Rich is a feminist author, a poetess, sorry, Adrienne Rich. She is a poet who writes about feminist issues, and she remembers how the forests, or this world, was free once, and how the world was actually filled with free thinking women. Previously, men and women had certain roles, and the entire civilization was in balance between men and women, right? Later on, due to the patriarchal development of the society, the women were confined to homes. Their thoughts were limited, their education was curtailed or eliminated, their food habits, movements, thinking habits, and professions were controlled. So what happened? The entire free world, or the forests, became devoid of women, right? Became devoid of women. Now, in the name of feminist revolutions, these women are trying to crack through the window panes which have encaged them, enclosed them. Moreover, these women have been trapped in the cracks of buildings, and they are trying to get free themselves. Yes, they are moving towards the forest again. They are trying to free themselves. Some of them are freed themselves, but the energy in them is not yet ample, not yet enough, because they are dragging themselves towards freedom, or the forest, just as the patients who have been recently discharged from hospitals, right? So you may get both the aspects, questions from both the aspects. So there must not be any confusion between women and trees. Adrienne Rich has written this poem, The Trees, on both the perspectives. Both the perspectives are accepted and are asked by CBSE. So don't get worried. I hope the poem Trees is हेल्पफुल सॉरी क्लियर नाउ. चलें आगे बढ़ते हैं. फॉग छोटा सा पोएम है, कार्ल सैंडबर्ग का पोएम है फॉग. लेकिन फॉग अगर देखा जाए तो बहुत सिंपल सा पोएम है, और अगर समझा जाए तो बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड पोएम है. डोंट वरी, इट्स इजी. चलिए, फॉग बाय कार्ल सैंडबर्ग. ठीक है, शुरुआत करें. द पोएम इज वेरी शॉर्ट. If we read it, the fog comes on little cat feet. The fog has been compared to a little cat who comes on little cat feet, just as the fog takes over the entire city without making any noise, without anyone noticing when the fog has covered the entire city, or when has the cat arrived. All of a sudden, you look in a corner and the cat is there, right? You don't know when the cat arrived, right? It sits, the cat or the fog sits over harbor and city, just like the cat sits and looks at everything that goes around without making any movement or large activities. Just sits there, stares at you as if it's doing nothing, on silent haunches, and then moves on. But what happens when a cat sits in front of you doing nothing? Does it, if the cat is not your pet cat, does it make you uneasy? Just as the fog makes you uneasy? Yes, it does. Right? On silent haunches. Now, haunches means thighs. Haunches means thighs. Just as a cat sits on haunches, if you Google haunches of a cat, you will understand what thighs are, haunches are. Just as a cat sits and watches, right? Or the fog sits over harbor and city, and then moves on, right? The fog does not stay there forever, or nor does the cat, nor does the cat. तो ये फॉग या कैट है क्या ये पोएम 10th क्लास के लायक है? ऑफ कोर्स है, ऑफ कोर्स है, क्योंकि ये फॉग या फिर ये कैट इज नॉट अ नॉर्मल कैट. This fog or cat represents the problems that come in our lives. You will never notice, you will not notice when the problems have appeared in your life. The right appropriate word is appeared in your life. You will not see a problem coming. All of a sudden you see that, oh my God, this problem is here. What to do now? We start panicking while the problem prevails. Instead of solving the problem, instead of dealing with the issues, what we do? We start panicking. But we forget that there will be a time when this problem will end due to our efforts, due to our solutions. Right? With time, this problem will go. एक बार भगवान कृष्ण को अर्जुन ने पूछा कि ओ लॉर्ड, write on this wall something that will make me happy when I'm sad and sad when I'm happy. The poet wrote, the Lord, the greatest of poets, Lord Krishna, wrote, ये वक्त भी बीत जाएगा. This time will come to an end. If you're happy, happiness is not bound to prevail forever. If you are sad, if you are suffering, this suffering is going to end one day. So hey Parth, don't worry, मैं बैठा हूं, तुम परेशान मत हो, ये वक्त भी बीत जाएगा. So this is the poem Fog for you. Here fog, a cat, does not symbolize, it's not normal fog, it symbolizes problems. जिसने ये चीज समझ लिया उसने ये पोएम समझ लिया. ठीक है? फॉग बाय कार्ल सैंडबर्ग. आगे बढ़ते हैं. टिंग 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 टिंग. टेल ऑफ कस्टर्ड द ड्रैगन. बहुत बड़ा पोएम है, डर लगता है ना, बहुत बड़ा पोएम है. फॉरन ग्रेगरी. Tale of Custard the Dragon. So you all are aware of the story, how the cat, mouse, dog, and Belinda, right? They used to mock at Custard the dragon. You have to memorize the names, like Ink is the name of the cat, Blink is the name of the mouse, Mustard is the name of the yellow dog, and Custard is the dragon because he was sweet. Now, they used to make fun of Custard the dragon, while they used to boast about their bravery. Even Belinda used to boast about their bravery. Now, their physical forms, the dog, the cat, and ink. Sorry, and the mouse. They were not that scary, but they posted about their bravery. While Custard, who was actually a dragon, had daggers for nails and horns for thorns for scales, etc. Right? Back, rattled the chains, breathed the fire, everything was very sweet in nature. And when the trouble in the form of a pirate came, all the brave people, so called brave people, they ran away. Only Custard the dragon, who was mocked for being a coward, was the one who stood up and fought the dangerous pirate, gulped the pirate whole. Right. For a while, everybody started praising the deed of Custard the dragon. Right. But they also boasted that they would have done the same had they not been caught by surprise. As time went by, they forgot. They forgot the deed of bravery of Custard the dragon. And they kept on boasting. Even Belinda kept on boasting about their bravery, not Custard. So, what is the theme of the poem? The theme of the poem is actual bravery, modesty, humility, right, and true friendship. Right, all these themes can be explained here: modesty, actual bravery, humility, and true friendship. With the passage of time, people tend to forget the good deeds of people. So they need to be reminded. And जो चलता है, जो दिखता है, वही बिकता है. ये भी मान सकते हो कि whatever shines is considered as gold in this world. Right? That's why even after Custard the dragon saved Belinda, they soon forgot. And they continued mocking Custard the dragon. Okay? So this is Custard the Dragon, the tale of Custard the Dragon from you by Ogden Nash. For Anne Gregory by Bolo Anne Gregory. William Butler Yeats. भूल गया था William Butler Yeats for Anne Gregory. Chalo. So in this poem, the theme is that only God is capable of loving someone for what one really is. No other person in this world, including father, mother, wife, husband, brother, friend, no other lover, no other person in this world is capable of true love, because true love is the ability of God alone. Now one may ask, no, mother, father, they are parents, right? They are capable of true love. Of course, they love you. But there is some contamination of expectation involved. The wife, the husband, they too have some physical or worldly attachments. Only God is capable of true love. This is what the poet tells Anne Gregory, who is a representative or a symbol of the entire mankind. Womankind नहीं बोलेंगे, mankind, पूरा, total humanity. Right? So, चलो women ही मान लेते हैं for the time being. So Anne Gregory says that no, I can dye my yellow hair to some other color, for example, burgundy, brown, black, etc. But then too, the person would love me for myself and not for my yellow hair. Then the poet reveals that only God is capable of true love. Right. Never shall a young man thrown into despair by those great honey-colored, यानी yellow hair, ramparts at your ears. So बहुत favorite question है CBSE का. What are ramparts? Right. What are ramparts? So ramparts are the interpretation of something which is a protective gear. Now, ramparts hota kya hai? What are ramparts? Rampart is a collapsible bridge that is um, drawn over a moat or a ditch around a castle to protect the castle from external attacks. Now, ramparts here in this poem have been referred to the locks of hair that cover the ears. Right? Now these ramparts, they cover the ears, the locks that cover the ear as if a protective gear. But also these are very physically attractive. सो रैम्पार्ट्स का रेफरेंस यहाँ पे क्या है वो आपको पूछा जा सकता है. थीम ऑफ द पोएम आपको समझ में आ गया. विलियम बटलर यीट्स का फॉर एन ग्रेगरी से आपको एक डाउट है तो आप लोग पूछिएगा. आई होप दैट दिस session of 1 hour was helpful to you. Please do comment, please do share this with as many people as you can. आराम से इसको देखो, एक बार दो बार आपका पूरा का पूरा क्लियर हो जाएगा. रेफर करो चैप्टर्स को. ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर बोर्ड एग्जाम्स. थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग. बाय बाय.